one of the researchers we talked to said only about 100 people in the world can't change their weight through diet and exercise. And that was really surprising.
Yeah, no more excuses.
Yeah. I was surprised by, Kavitha visited a family with a young child, 6-year-old, and they had gotten a lot of help already. They were implementing a lot of changes in their lifestyle, and I was surprised how much that affected the whole family and not just the kid.
And then I think one of the psychologists said to us, that the family, like she encourages the family to make changes because only then people realize what they're asking their little kids to do, because I think a lot of times kids are smaller and they're so cute that we kind of feel like, oh, it's easy for them. And I heard that often, oh, it's easy, they're just little children. It's not. It's incredibly hard. In fact, sometimes it's even harder because they cannot process why everyone else can eat that piece of chocolate cake and they can't. And so, to try and explain that to a little child is really hard. So I thought that was really interesting. There was one, remember we interviewed that researcher, Ginger, and she said when kids cry, a lot of parents give in because it's easier. And she said one of the things she tells them is, if your child cried for a glass of beer, would you give them beer? And the parents say no. And she said, then why would you give them this? And I always thought, oh, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. I went to buy granola at the store the other day and looked at all of the sugar content. And Dr. Hancock, one of the doctors we interviewed, said that every 5 grams of sugar is 1 teaspoon. And so the least sugar I found was 6 grams. So that's 1 teaspoon of sugar in a half cup serving size, which is very small. And then the largest, I think there were 19 grams of sugar. And I made my decision based on that.
I think of the two of us, like, I eat the worst. I mean, I would eat Lunchables when we first met, and Ginger would show up with an apple, and I'd be like, how can you eat an apple? Like, that's not going to fill you up. We've got 3 hours of interviews, and I'd be like, watch McDonald's pass by and say, hey, what if we just stop here? And I think that really changed through the course of this. I think... I still point it out. I don't kind of insist on stopping. But I definitely think that I've started trying to snack more on fruits and vegetables. I mean, I think that's the one thing that I got from that doctor's visit, that, it's baby steps. It's never going to be this huge change, you flip a switch and your life is changed. I kind of wish it was like that. It's just these baby steps. So I figure... in the next 10 years, I'll get there.